What's up everybody, Prepared Guy here once again. Today we're taking a look at the Sofirn SC21 Mini. Out of the box, the SC21 comes with the light itself with a pocket clip, a C-type USB charging cable, a lanyard with some O-rings, a 800 milliamp 16340 3.7 volt lithium-ion rechargeable battery, and instructions. The Mini is IPX8 rated up to 2 meters and impact resistant up to 1 meter. It also weighs in just over 60 grams or just over 2 ounces with the battery on board. Here are some of the technical specs on the screen now. For you nerds, just pause the video here if you're interested. Moving along, during my runtime test, the SC21 Mini ran on the 1000 lumen turbo mode for 2 minutes before dropping down to the 400 lumen mode for an additional 1 hour and 28 minutes of what I would consider usable light before dying out completely. Also, during the runtime test, the SC21 Mini got up to a maximum heat output of 110 degrees Fahrenheit after 1 minute and 48 seconds of use, and during my recharge test using my Anker PowerPort 3 65-watt charger, it took only 1 hour and 9 minutes to fully recharge the SC21 Mini from dead to fully charged. I used a double-ended C-type charging cable during this test because I wanted to. Unfortunately, these days, most companies don't include a dedicated charging block with most of their products, which leaves the consumer left to play the power requirement guessing game. Your results on charging times may vary depending on which type of charging block you use, so be careful. You never know. It might take a minute, it might take 3 hours. The size of the SC21 Mini is similar to the size of the popular Olight S1R Baton 2 and the ThruNite T1. And just like those other lights, the SC21 comes with a magnetic tail cap so that you can attach it to metallic surfaces. I'll tell you more about my experience with the magnetic tail cap during my pros and cons for this video. Now on to the button operations for the SC21 Mini. Alright guys, now I'm going to go through some of the button pushes for the Sofirn SC21 Mini. It's very simple flashlight to use. All you have to do is push down and hold the button to go into the 1 lumen moonlight mode with a runtime of 85 hours. And all I have to do is hold it down again. It will jump up to the 10 lumen mode with a runtime of 18 hours. And I hold it down again and it jumps up to the 100 lumen mode with a runtime of 4 hours. And then I hold the button down again and it jumps up to the 400 lumen mode with a runtime of 1 hour. And if I double tap it, I go into the 1000 lumen turbo mode with a runtime of 1 hour as well. If I want to go ahead and use the turbo mode, I can just double click directly to go to the turbo, or I can hold it down and go right into that moonlight mode as you saw earlier. Now, if I wanted to go into the strobes, I tap it 3 times, 1, 2, 3. And if I want to change from strobe to SOS, I can hold it down and it will go into the SOS mode as such. And if I want to go into the beacon mode, all I have to do is hold down the button again while I'm in the strobing mode and it will go right into the beacon mode. Very simple to use. If I want to go ahead and change this into the lockout mode, all I have to do is press the side button 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will flash a few times and then, or a couple times, and then it will go into the lockout mode. So you won't be able to push the button and actually turn the light on. If I wanted to turn that lockout mode off, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm out of the lockout mode. We're in the step mode right now, which means I hold the button down and it just steps up to the next lumen output every single time I press the button. If I want to use the ramp mode, all I have to do is turn the light on and press the side button 1, 2, 3, 4 times and it goes into the ramping grouping mode. And all I have to do is hold that button down. It goes all the way up to the 1000 lumens, blinks, and I press it again and it will go all the way down to the 1 lumen mode and it blinks and it stays there. It doesn't go all the way up and then cycle back down. You know, it goes to where it needs to be. It stops and there's no chasing the lumen output. It stays at 1000 lumens. You hold it down again and it drops all the way down to that 1 lumen moonlight mode. Great, simple operation, guys. Okay, guys, I have the Sofirn SC21 in front of me right here. I'm about 15 to 20 feet away from the door in front of me. I'm going to turn this light off. I'm going to put this light into the 1 lumen moonlight mode. And as you guys can see, it's not super bright. It's not really throwing that far. If I turn up the ISO, you can kind of see, but not really. It's not as bright as it should be. So 85-hour runtime for that 1 lumen moonlight mode. I'm going to bump it up to the 10 lumen mode. Now we're in the 10 lumen mode, and that 10 lumen mode, I'm going to show you guys exactly. This is exactly what I'm seeing now. And that 10 lumen mode is going to run you for a whole 18 hours, which isn't too bad at all. Now I'm going to bump it up to the 100 lumen mode. And the 100 lumen mode has a runtime of 4 hours. And now I'm going to bump it up to the 400 lumen mode. The 400 lumen mode has a runtime of 1 hour. I'm going to bump it up to the 1000 lumen mode. Oops, 1, 2. And that's going to give you a runtime about 30 minutes, but it says an hour in the manual, but my runtime is my runtime test, and I only got about 30 minutes really of use out of it before it started to flash red. So there you have it for those modes. Now I'm going to go into the strobe mode, and that's going to give you 1000 lumens of strobe. Now I'm going to go into the SOS mode, and the SOS mode is 100 lumens. And now I'm going to go into the beacon mode, and the beacon mode is 1000 lumens. So it's just this bright flash, nice and bright. So there you have it, guys. I'm going to go back into the turbo mode, and as you can see, pretty decent beam pattern here. And I'm going to go ahead and lower the ISO on the camera so you can see. This is exactly what I'm looking at. This is exactly what I'm seeing with my naked eye. So not too bad, very nice. Okay guys, for my final test, I'm going to compare the SC21 in the 1000 lumen mode to the S1R Baton 2 from Olight. And the S1R Baton 2 is on the left, and the SC21 is on the right. As you can see, a little bit different beam pattern, slightly different, but not too different. I feel like the S1R Baton 2 has a more defined hotspot, and it's a little bit more diffused with the SC21. Not too bad, guys. Pretty nice. Moving along to the pros and cons for the SC21 Mini. Starting off with the cons, I felt like when I was playing around with the light, I was spamming the turbo mode for a little while, and after about 20 minutes, the red light on the side started flashing, telling me that my battery was basically dead. So if you're going to spam the turbo, you're probably not going to get that 1 hour of use on the 1000 lumen mode suggested in the manual. So that's something to watch out for. 20 minutes, maybe a half an hour max, but that's about it. Moving along, my next con is going to be the magnetic tail cap. The magnetic tail cap was about 60% weaker on the SC21 Mini than any of the other similar sized lights that I compared it to. Just take a look at this test. Now for my pros. The price is great, coming in at around $30 on Amazon.com. The run times were reasonable for the 16340 battery, as long as you don't play with it like a toddler like I would. The light didn't get too hot during my normal use test, and it was relatively safe overall. I didn't feel like I was going to burn a hole in my clothes. Just if you do use the turbo a lot, it's going to get a lot hotter than the 110 degrees that I tested it at. So overall, it's a contender with higher priced tagged lights in its weight class. And if you're looking for a small EDC light on a budget, then why not consider the Sofirn SC21 Mini? Sofirn makes so many great lights, and I'm so happy to have them on this channel. I hope this video has been helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, thanks for watching, and until next time, guys, stay prepared.